Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, I didn't do well, it's fine. Hello, folks. Welcome to Mark Isaac Potter Presents. We're visiting today with Bob Solimeno, who is in my opinion, a very delightful young man. He does, I'm going to practice knowing what he does. His company is called Immersitech, and they loan to small businesses such as an LLC that would, did I hit the record button? Yes, I did. Small businesses that want to invest in property in the United States. So, Bob, tell us a little bit about. Well, there's two things we can maybe do them on separate shows. Something I want to ask you eventually is how you got into this, but for now, what's a? I mean, I know the person is coming to you most likely with a property in mind, right? They don't usually come and say, I want to invest. What do you recommend? They don't do that, probably, right?
That that's my best guess, yeah.
Because that would be a realtor doing that job. But
And I could certainly help someone find properties if, given the program.
you probably know a whole bunch of realtors.
I do, and I have some software tools that can help locate properties for them.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay, kind of according to their criteria and such.
sure.
What's not necessarily ideal, but a nearly ideal property, and what's a property that's not. I mean, you go out, you kind of scope the property once they come to you to
Well,
see if it's going to work for everybody.
once they come to me, we'll have to get to know the details about the property itself. Now, first and foremost, it would be better if the property is already vacant because we don't want to displace a family, who's in crisis, for example.
Okay. Oh, well, nice. That's good to know because there's so much going on in the world that's not.
Oh, that's true. I mean, and some good targets for investors may be properties in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
And if, excuse me,
Take your time. You need to take a call or something? It's
no, no,
fine.
no, that was Google showing me photos. I
With
said
who?
Google. It was showing me some photos I had taken. I just had
Oh, okay. Okay.
um so backtracking a moment for an investor looking for a target property certainly wants to find a good low price property and a potential target for that kind of investor might be a property in pre-foreclosure or foreclosure
Okay.
where we would we certainly could help out the occupant relieve themselves of the financial burden by paying off the existing loan and in foreclosure, and then they could find another place to live.
Yeah.
The buyer, the investor, would acquire a property at reduced price from the retail market. And at that point, we'd have an empty property available. And, it could even accommodate a family for a month or two to make a transition, right?
A different family than the original owner, or what, or not? Are you
Well, no,
saying?
I'm talking about a pre-foreclosure. So
Oh, so they're still in the property, and y'all are saying we'll stay for another two months, and
we can
we'll be working
accommodate.
in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly accommodate situations like that. My
Okay.
goal My goal as a connector of people is to try and make it so that everybody wins.
Yeah, and I like that about you. Not everybody does that, and not everybody even verbalizes it. The ones that think it would play well.
I mean,
Some people just go for the throat, you know.
I mean, I,
Glenn Ross.
yeah, I, we've gone through several financial crises in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
most recent one,
2008 comes to mind.
yeah, and and things may happen in present times that may be very challenging for families'
Yeah.
finances.
Yeah.
Um, so to be in a position to help transition from one residence to another, I think is very appealing. And
Okay.
I'm looking for investors who have that kind of mindset too.
Good.
And so, we can acquire a property at a good value, um, provide funding even for the rehabilitation as well as the acquisition,
Right.
and then set up a plan to have that rehabilitation take place. Contractors may have to be hired.
You have those people in your hand, or is that the buyer's
That's
job?
predominantly the buyer's responsibility, but I can
Okay.
certainly help.
Okay.
Uh, Again, with the concept of everybody winning,
Yeah.
by providing work for contractors to rehabilitate a property, they're gaining work.
Oh yeah. No, it's
We're helping a family transition a residence.
yeah.
Investors got a profit potential at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and I have another loan to process.
Very nice. Very nice. That's there's a lot there because there's the people you work with who are providing the money through you, and there's all the particulars about the properties. Now you're on the East Coast, right, of the United States?
Um, More Midwest. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were in Ohio. I'm from Ohio originally, by the way.
Yeah,
We may have talked about that. Uh,
but I can do business anywhere. In fact,
yeah.
I've got a couple of people that I'm in conversation with already. One's in Illinois, another's in Florida, and there's a gentleman I'm meeting with this afternoon here in Cincinnati. So,
Okay.
the deal can be anywhere in the
Yeah.
U.S.
Any kind. Yeah. Okay. Um, give us a story that would be typical of a uh, well, I want to say well done, but that's not quite the right thing. But a well done process. A time in the last few years when things went relatively smoothly. And by the way, let's not forget to spell Immersitech for people at some point.
Oh yeah,
Immersitech
that's correct.
.com.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
on that homepage, when they arrive and they'll see the skyline of Cincinnati, and
Oh,
there'll be a little box that interested individuals can just enter their name, phone number, and email address.
okay.
And exchange for that contact information, I'm happy to send out a little slide deck that explains the whole private money lending process,
Okay. All
all
right.
the
Good.
logic of lending.
Very nice. Okay. So give us like I say, give us a story in which things went smoothly.
Well, I'll give you a kind of a current one. There's a gentleman that contacted me who happens to be a truck driver as his main type
Right.
of employment.
Right.
He's interested in getting into this type of investor business and approached me about, how this is going to work. And so I sent him some information. He's deliberating over that right now. And as soon as we identify a property, it sounds like he's ready to begin. So
Okay.
the next things that will happen is that he and I will sign an agreement with each other that secures our relationship and provides me with ultimate compensation,
Right.
but also gives him an opportunity to start a pre-loan application.
Okay.
That's where we get background information about him,
Right.
what available finances he currently has, because
Right.
there's going to be some requirement for only a 10% down payment on a property.
Okay.
But there's also going to be closing costs that are going to be due at closing. And so
Okay.
we just want to make sure that before we start the ball rolling, that a prospective investor's got everything they need to press go.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So,
So once that happens, I submit the paperwork to the loan office. The loan officer reviews the paperwork, and if there's any missing information, we just have our back and forth to make sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. And from that point, it goes to an underwriter. The underwriter looks over everything, and they send out for a title search. They order a
Right. Yeah.
they order an appraisal to be done, which actually it takes the longest period of time. It could take 7 to 10 days for the appraisal.
Yeah. Yeah. Appraisals are, it's a whole nother world. Yeah.
But
And that could disrupt things sometimes,
but generally, within 2 weeks, the investor could have his money and start things going.
Okay, now that person you just spoke about was an individual, not a business, right? Or was it through his trucking company that he was?
Well, he just presented himself as an individual, and I some information that made it clear that he has to be in business entity. So he could start an LLC,
Okay,
and then we do all the business through that LLC.
okay, okay, good. So individual people can at least consider this because I think if a
Sure.
person wants to get into the investment space, I would think you would be one of the better people to because you're knowledgeable, you care, you kind of act like a teacher sometimes to get us rolling. Now, I've got a friend, I'll say anonymous, who is a real estate agent and also an investment specialist, which means she advises people on getting properties in her area. Is she or is she not the kind of person that would sometimes come and work with you? Like maybe the investor on her end would say, well, I got my eye on this property in Columbus, but I don't quite have all the funds or something.
I think you may have mentioned this lady to me before. She's up
Uh,
in the Akron area,
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would be a wonderful person to connect with
All
because
right. Just maybe remind me to connect with her. I don't. I hesitate to say more until I talk with her. I've learned the hard way over the years that ladies like to be consulted before their name and information goes out. But she is a very successful realtor in that area. And I've worked with a lot of realtors in the state of Ohio, by the way.
sure,
So
hook me up, Mark.
yeah, just maybe remind me. So okay, so Immersitech, Immersitech, Immersitech.com. If you're in the investment space already as a small business, or you want to learn how to start a small investment business, I would say talk with Bob. He's delightful. He's willing to teach people things. He, like all of us, he wants to get compensated, but he's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, as we would say. All right, folks, we love you very much. Give Bob a call by checking in on his Immersitech website. Bob, thanks for your time today. I know it's valuable. Take care, and I'll try to remember right now to call her or email her and say, would you like to know about this person or whatever? Okay.
Sounds great, Mark. Thank you for
All
having me.
right, young man. Take care. God bless you.